5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening. I'd like to call the June 3rd meeting of the Ashland Board of Health to order. So the first thing on our agenda is citizen participation. Do we have anybody for citizen participation? First, we'll check online. Nothing. Cece, do you want to come up to the mic?
Good evening, everybody. Cece Doucette, 31 Fatima Drive. And some of us have met in the past talking about the biological effects of today's wireless technology. Some of you know that Ashland Public Schools became the first in the nation to take precautionary steps with radio frequency to turn things off when we're not using them and create maximum distance from something that's radiating. And then we also had become the first in the United States to put a radio frequency radiation detection meter on loan. Upton just put one into their circulation as well. Pittsfield has one. Others around the state and the country are doing the same because it's an invisible exposure. I own a couple of these meters, so I will extend this offer again. If you'd like to borrow this one and take it home with you and do a scavenger hunt to see what your radiation levels look like, I would be happy to leave that if anyone's interested. But there's a couple of really important things that have come out recently. The first being that the World Health Organization has partially funded a study that concluded that there is high certainty of evidence linking cell phone radio frequency radiation to two types of cancers in animals. It's called The Effects of Radio Frequency Electromagnetic Field Exposure on Cancer in Laboratory Animal Studies by Mevison et al. 2025. And it's linking it to gliomas in the brain and malignant schwannomas in the heart. Notably, the same types of tumors have also been observed in human studies, adding significant confidence that the associations observed in human studies are real. And then some of you, being a Board of Health, may have read the Make America Healthy for Our Children assessment report that came out of the federal level this past month. And you'll see on page 38 that when we're talking about the exposure pathways for items in our environment that are making our children and us sick, you will see that under physical agents, there's electromagnetic radiation right next to microplastics, exposures to Wi-Fi, mobile phones, 5G, and so on. So the message, of course, is not no technology, it's safe technology, and we know how to do that. We've kind of been wooed into this all Wi-Fi all the time era, and now it's time to bring that pendulum back to the middle and say, how can we have amazing technology without the radio frequency radiation risks? And it's not rocket science to fix. On the back of all of our routers, on the underbelly of all of our wireless access points, there are Ethernet ports. All you need to do is drop a wire down to task level and then hook things up through a cable and turn off the radiation. But we do need to have a meter because with 5G and the Internet of Things, the industry is forecasting that we will all have 200 devices wirelessly connected in our homes. So I just came tonight to bring an update on what's happening in the science and to offer my services. I've become something of a national, international public speaker, expert on this. I would love to partner with our Board of Health and with our schools and with Keith Tech. Ed, I know you serve over there as well, thank you. And with your nursing background, I know you've conferred with me about this over the years too. Let's just get the education going because tonight, children could be sleeping much more safely in a sleep sanctuary in their own bedrooms without being bombarded with man-made radio frequency microwaves. Any questions? Okay, I know we're not supposed to do it during public comment, but I thought I'd ask.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ed.
Okay, the next thing on our agenda is herbicide waiver request for Ashland Arboretum. Who's going to be talking about that, Raj?
He's here. Ryan Corrigan.
Okay, Ryan, can you, are you able to unmute?
Yeah, I think can you hear me?
Yeah, if you could just speak up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So hi everybody. I'm very excited to see the Ashland Arboretum kind of moving forward in this space, and we're looking forward to planting several thousand perennials and trees in this area that was formerly a brownfield site. So my company, Parterra Ecological, we work with invasive species management and kind of restoring native vegetation and habitat space. So I met out with Becca on site and kind of looking at the invasive species that are there. And we have some that are very prevalent with a deep root system that are very difficult to manage organically. So our preference, didn't get into this to use herbicide or anything, but we use it as a tool in very minimal situations to control some of these invasive species that have these kind of deep elastic root systems. So if you continually hand pull it, you could go 3 or 4 years without actually making a major impact. So we're advocating for an herbicide that we use regularly in our work called Triclopyr 3A. This herbicide has a pretty short half-life, about 30 days. It's used as a selective herbicide. It doesn't affect grasses or birds or like a lot of the insect life. Like there's a lot of tests that we've kind of worked through of the hundreds of herbicides that are out there. We've come down to this being like the least impact with the most benefit. So we're proposing that we do an initial removal organically with hand work on site, and then for the resprouts that come back up from that root system, doing 2 targeted applications ahead of the planting that we're going to do this fall, so that the native species, once they are planted, don't have that extreme competition of the existing invasive species.
All right, and I see that Becca Solomon's on, who's our conservation agent. Do you need to add anything into this discussion, Becca?
Becca have raised hands, right? Becca, go ahead, please. Becca, can you hear us? Becca, can you hear us?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, it was my mute button was disabled. I was unable to unmute myself. I just wanted to add in, I'm also assisting with overseeing this. Some of the invasives, we are hand pulling the ones that we can, and the herbicide treatment is just for the ones that it's just not feasible to do it by hand, just for the board's information.
Anybody have any questions? Okay, so I'm going to make a motion that we approve the waiver request for the herbicide for the Ashland Arboretum.
And Chief, we have.
Oh,
Mr.
sorry.
Hart, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you.
No.
Oh, sorry, Ed.
If you want to
Yeah.
give your expertise or, yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you for inviting me for a number of reasons. One is that Laura remembers this. 10 years ago, we formed the Ashland pesticide regulations. The third town in the state to have one. First was Marblehead, the second was Wellesley, and then Ashland adopted theirs. That's one good reason to be here. Another is that I worked for 30 years to get rid of Cadillac paint, so it's nice to see that something positive is coming out of something that was so negative for so long. These 2 compounds are perfectly safe for our use. They don't need a waiver. They're category 3 and 4 4 for inhalation, 3 for dermal and eye. There is an REI, which is a restricted entry interval of 20, I think it's 48 hours for the salt version, which is the Pathfinder is 12 hours, and the other one, Garlon, is 48 hours. It's just suggested that we prevent people from going onto the property until the stuff is completely dry. Other than that, I mean, it's safe, and I'm sure that the applicators are going to use proper practices in putting it on. Other thing I would say is I try to pick a day when it's not too windy to avoid drift. And I do appreciate them asking and coming before us for this. It's just nice for the town to know what's going on. Very quickly, I'll tell you where this regulation came from. 10 years ago, there was somebody down at Grinnell Park spraying Roundup on the around the Little League baseball field, remember? And somebody said, whoa, what's going on? Is this okay? And wasn't a law against it, but there was a lot of talk at the time about glyphosate and Roundup. So we decided that we needed a regulation. And we passed it, and we added the extra part where private nursing, I think it was nurseries and daycare centers, could not only use, they had to come for a waiver if they wanted to use a product that was maybe a class 2 or a class 1, in case, except for anything except for aesthetic purposes. Otherwise, they were all banned because it was a restraint of trade issue, and the Attorney General office said, well, that's fine. The regulation went through fine. So, yeah, other than that, I think that they're good. I'm glad that they're going to use triclopyr. We've used it before. Used it in the town forest. It's very safe if you use it properly. And like I said, the only thing I would suggest is pick a day when it's not too windy. And then we'll try to do something to close off, maybe with some yellow caution tape, the 2 entrances for the 48 hours after they use the ester. The salt, I'm sorry, the salt.
Question, Ed. So 48 hour, so I think it was Ryan mentioned 30-day half-life?
Well, yeah, that's in the soil. It's anywhere between 2 weeks and 30 days. It depends on the soil type and the conditions, how wet everything is. It's a little mobile motile in the soils, but it never really gets below 35 inches, I think, in studies. And the groundwater level is much lower. This is dangerous to aquatic life, but it's friendly to insects and to, these are auxin inhibitors, mimics. So what they do is they trick the plant into growing really fast, and it grows itself to death. It's like getting a shot of adrenaline, a massive shot of adrenaline.
You don't want that.
No, you don't want that. That's not a good idea.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Corrigan, for letting us know what you're doing.
So I agree with Ed. I looked through the pesticide regulations, and I don't see that this Garland 3A doesn't seem to be cancer-causing, at least according to the label. It's not an endocrine disruptor. It's listed as an EPA, has an EPA registration number, but it's not a category 1 or 2. So my recommendation would be that we just document that we clarified this at town meeting, and that Garland 3A is permitted in this case. So what do you folks think?
Anybody have any questions? Concerns? So we have a motion already.
We have a motion to waive, but there's no reason to waive.
Right. Right. Okay. So we can just,
I think,
can
like I
move-
said, we've just, it's
Right.
on record as that we've clarified the
Right.
regulations
Right.
and
let the town know what's going on. Right.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yep,
So we don't even need to vote.
right.
Okay. All right. All set.
Okay.
Thanks, Ed, for the
Thanks,
clarification.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
All right, next thing on our agenda is a variance request for septic system repair at 12 Oak Tree Lane. I think you're,
We have Eric.
yep.
Yes, hi, this is Eric Dickinson with Civilized Solutions. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see if I can, I'm not used to the hybrid. Okay. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. I'm not sure if they're in the audience. But this is 12 Oak Tree Lane. This is a 4-bedroom, single-family house. Is it possible for me to share my screen?
You're a co-host.
Okay, let me try to do that. Seeing it. Let me try this again. Sorry. Wrong thing. Okay, let's try this. Okay, there we go. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay. So this is 12 Oak Tree Lane. This is a 4-bedroom home built in 1956. It's a Cape style home. It has a existing septic system in the backyard, located right in this area. Has a septic tank, and we discovered a leach, kind of a leach field over here when we were digging our test beds. As you can see, it's got a lot of constraints. It's got a wetland system in the back, wetlands on the side. This wetland system is actually the one, if you had your back to Kid Fenwall, if you looked across Main Street, it's that large wetland system back there. Here's the associated buffers. Given my experience at 20 Oak Tree Lane, which we just completed, I had a good feeling that the soils would not be great, and I would need more room than in the front yard for the replacement system. So I tested in the backyard and did these 3 test bits. The soils were as predicted. There was a lot of fill, high groundwater at 36 inches. Then we had weeping coming in, so there was water coming in each of the test pits. I could not run a percolation test, so I had to send the soil off to a laboratory for an analysis. It came back similar to 20 Oak Tree Lane, which is the loading rate was a very low loading rate, which means the soil or the septic system is going to be larger. It means basically that the effluent does not travel through the soil very quickly. That being said, with the high groundwater and the loading rate, I decided to use an IA system. This is a microfast treatment system to geoflow. These are drip tubing. If I had not used that system, the patio in the backyard right here, there would be a 2-foot mound that the owner would step up on, would kind of ruin what backyard they have. I received approval from we recently received approval from the Conservation Commission, even though we're very, very close to the wetlands. Let's see. They are requesting some wetlands bounds around the property so that the house is actually on the market, so that the new homeowner will not encroach upon that area with any lawn or anything like someone had done in the past. Given the design, there were a few variances. Would you like me to go through them?
You can, Eric, and can you also just say a little bit more about what the conversation with the Conservation Commission? I don't remember reading that.
You couldn't hear me? Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't see that in the letter, in the
Okay,
in the
yeah.
request. If it was in there, I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't. But basically we're encroaching upon the buffers, the 25-foot, the 50-foot, and even we're outside the 100, or we have no work outside the 100-foot. But the project did have to go through their permitting with commission, and they are requiring that the applicant put these wetland bounds in around, I think there's 5 or 6 of them. Or there's one. And what that is that this is all a lawn area right now, so the new homeowner, whoever buys the home, I think it's actually sold. These bounds have plaques on them, and they state that no work or filling or anything in this area out here, which is currently lawn. So as you can see, there's a bound there, there's a bound here, and then there's one up here. Basically, their only usable yard will be in this area where the system is. So it was kind of imperative that I used a system that is not mounted so that they have some backyard to use.
Got it, thanks.
Yeah.
So you're going to be looking for 6 variances, but
Yeah.
the 310 CMR 15.405 1E, we could probably not, we might not need to do that one because the Ashland bylaw is 75 feet where the state one is 50 feet. Are
Correct.
you in agreement with that?
I am, yes.
Okay, yeah, because they both would kind of contradict each other.
Yeah, they overlap, right.
Right, so you're better off with the Wayland, I'm sorry, with the Ashland, 75 feet.
Correct, yeah. Which, yes.
All right,
So
so,
the local regulations are more strict.
right,
Yes.
okay. So we have to do each one of these. Anybody have any questions before we go through this? Maurice, you all set? Okay. All right, so I can do the first one. So I'll make a motion to grant a variance from the Ashland Board of Health Regulations, Section 30311, to allow the subsurface sewage disposal system to be designed without a garbage disposal, with the condition that no garbage disposal be installed within the house, and a deed recording be placed on the property stating no garbage disposal shall be installed in the house while the subsurface sewage disposal system is in use for 12 Oak Tree Lane, Ashland.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Someone like to do the next one?
Okay, I'll do the next one. So I'll make up motion to grant the variance from Ashland Board of Health Regulations 303-15 to allow all components of the subsurface disposal system to be located 27.6 feet from the wetlands versus 75 feet.
I'll second it. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to grant a variance from 310 CMR 15.405I to allow the use of a sieve analysis versus the required percolation test.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
You're up, Maurice.
I make a motion to grant a variance from 310 CMR 15.405(1)H2 to allow a reduction from the 4 feet to 2 feet separation for soils with percolation rates greater than 2 minutes per inch between the bottom of the soil absorption systems and the seasonal high groundwater elevation.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll do the last one. I make a motion to grant a variance from 310 CMR 15.405(1)I to allow for the reduction of the required 12-inch separation between the inlet and outlet tees to high groundwater, provided that all boots or pipe joints are sealed with hydraulic cement or installed with watertight sleeves, and the tank is proven watertight. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So next steps for this homeowner is,
We'll have the deed recording ready, you know. So I'm not in office tomorrow for a training, so probably Thursday or Friday, we'll have the deed recording, the document for deed recording ready. And then we'll give them a call to come pick that up. And then they have to do the deed recording. And once that we have, we'll issue the permit to install the system.
okay, does that work for you?
Yes.
We will contact them, sir, once we have, we prepare a document for the deed recording in our office. Once that document is ready, we'll give them a call for them to come pick it up, and then they have to get it recorded. Yeah, with the land records, you know. And we will call them, once we have that document ready, we'll give them a call. Yes, and then usually an attorney do the deed recording, he will do it. You can just pass it on to him, you know. Once we have the confirmation that it's recorded, we'll issue a permit to install the system.
Yeah, right. I know, and I guess, no, but I think you said that if this all can get done this week, then the person said they could have everything done by the 18th.
Absolutely, we have to do actually 4 mandatory inspections, you know, when the system is getting installed. There are different steps. I'll be out, you know, at the property doing inspections with the installer, you know, so. But we'll have the document ready as soon as possible, you know. So if it is ready tomorrow, we might give you a call tomorrow, you know. But I'm just not in office, but I'll coordinate with Laura. We have the document ready, you know. It need to be, you know, a true test copy need to be done with the clerk's office, you know. So there are a couple of steps for us to prepare the document. You know. And we'll have it to you as soon as possible, possibly we can. Okay?
I should mention that it's common for attorneys that I work with to be able to record those from their office without going into Cambridge. So it can almost be recorded immediately.
Yeah, Eric, I don't know if you heard him, they have that ability, their attorney does.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right, well, thanks for coming in.
Okay, good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you, Bob. Stop sharing.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, so the next thing on our agenda is approval of the grease traps. So we can do this as one motion and approval, but I think for the record, we have to read them all through, so I will do that real quickly. So what I'm going to be looking for is for a motion for approval of external grease traps for the following locations: Ashland Fish and Game Club at 3 Ponderosa Road, Ashland Memorial Associates Incorporated, it's the VFW at 311 Pleasant Street, Ashland Middle School, West Union Street, Ashland Nutrition, 61 Pond Street, Ashland Pitaway School, 75 Central Street, Ashland Pizza Palace, 74 Union Street, Ashland Warren School, 73 Fruit Street, Ashland Youth Baseball, 73 Fruit Street, Bay Path Elder Services Meals on Wheels, 162 West Union Street, Bodacious Bagel, 300 Elliott Street, Burnham 1742 Manor, 366 Pleasant Street, Clocker Club Boosters Concession Stand, 65 East Union Street, Clock Tower Pickleball, 200 Homer Ave, Clover Road Brewing, 151 Main Street, Dunkin' Donuts at Seasons, 123 Union Street, Fenwall, 400 Main Street, Honeydew Donuts, 14 West Union Street, Lucky Farms, 1 West Union Street, Market Basket, 49 Pond Street, Mill Pond Rest Home, 84 Myrtle Street, Pizza Bella, 1 West Union Street, Pizza Mine and New York Deli and at 9 Homer Ave, Speedway, 196 Pond Street, St. Cecilia's Church, 54 Estee Street, Starbucks, 399 Union Street, Sub-Zero Nitrogen Ice Cream, 91 Main Street, Sunnyside Cafe, 24 Front Street, Texas Meat Market, 6 Chestnut Street, The Bagel Table, 21 Main Street, Townhouse Pizza, 300 Elliott Street, Warren Conference Center, Henry's Place, 529 Chestnut Street.
So moved.
So
I think you made the motion.
I made the motion, so moved and. Second. Any discussion or questions for Raj on that one? No? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Great. And you're up, Raj.
Thank you, Chief. So first, the update on our food establishments. Dollar Tree was opened back on May 29, 2025. They passed the inspection with all the items corrected from the previous report when they was closed. The other requirement we had from them, they have to give us a weekly pest control report for next 3 months. Just want to make sure that the pests or the mice doesn't come back, or they don't have any further issues. So we have asked them to provide us a weekly pest control report for next 3 months. Mom's Stays that was at Hantos is still closed. We have not got documentation from the owner that we have asked for them to test the sauces they are making for the shelf life. This was because we got a complaint from Newton Health Department, given that the owner of Mom's Stays that is selling the sauces with the extended shelf life that they're putting on the sauces. A couple of daycares that we've been dealing with. This is more, I want to bring it to board's attention. We have KinderCare that we've been dealing with a couple of years now, but it mainly picked up late last year, right? That they was operating without a license from us. Now the daycares that are serving any food that are prepared on site, right? They do need a license or at least an inspection from Board of Health. They are licensed by EEC, right? But the food component is with us. So KinderCare, we give them a food permit, right? This is around almost 6 months back, but there are a few pending items, that we still have not resolved. More structural items, right, that Tom have asked them, but I just want to bring it to the board that we're still working with them, hopefully get that resolved, right? So that the second daycare that we have is Cementina Magica Daycare. So how this started, the owner of this daycare was in our office, month and a half back, that she was looking for an expansion of the facility. She currently have 10 kids. She wanted to go 20, and the state have asked her to do some sort of inspection from the town hall, right, to get that going. But when it came to our attention that she don't have a food permit, that I have asked her not to serve the food till we have confirmation either from EEC that they're okay with her serving food to that 10 kids or she's granted permit. We are just still working with her. I have an email from her a couple of days back that she's exempt from that. That's not our understanding that that's the case, right? But again, I'm just bringing it to the board that we are working with this daycare. That currently the second one also don't have a permit from us right now, and we have not looked into the facility itself. With the housing cases, 28 Concord Street, this was a crash at the dumpster that is resolved, right? 137 Pond Street, this is the long-term case we have, right? The receiver have now, put a fence around the property. Probably, might be individuals who are not allowed on the property was coming there, right? But I don't have an update on the closing. Last I heard from them that they're closing end of May, but I will talk to them or, get an update from the receiver if the property is closed or not. I don't have an update, but last I had was that they was closing on 5:30. 39 John Hancock Drive, that's another housing case we have going on. I am doing a reinspection on this property on Thursday. 181 Concord Street. This is one of the cases that came to us that was reported by the owner. And I have tried, I went to the property to do an inspection, but was not able to get in, didn't get access. But after that, the property owner have withdrawn the case. Only other item I have noticed on this property that they had a couple of mattresses sitting in the front of the property that I've asked the property owner to remove. With our OpenGov permitting software, again, we are ready to go with our permitting software. We're still working with the team of OpenGov to develop or, to get the final product for our inspectional software, so that's working, that we are still working on that. Tomorrow, the building department is going live with their permitting with OpenGov. So hopefully that's a good transition, then we'll have learnings from building department going first, and then after building department is set, then it'll be the health department coming on board with OpenGov. With disease investigation, currently we have 2 open TB cases that we are working. Our public health nurse have closed 2 other cases that we was working from the last meeting we had. And other than that, we have picked up 1 case of Salmonella day before yesterday that we are not able to contact the patient or, the individual. We made 2 attempts today to reach her, but not able to get to her yet. So that's on that. We was part of the Art Saves event at Ashland High School on May 15th. Myself and 2 members of our team from the shared services was there. Was a successful event. Other than that, we might have another blood donation drive that in past 2 years we have done 4 blood donation drives, that Board of Health was part of it, though we played a very minor part, just a bit with the organizing of it. And then we are planning the 5th blood donation drive in August. So we'll be working with Red Cross on that, And I'm open for any questions, please.
Question, Raj.
Please.
So John Hancock Drive, is that a new case, or did you mention that
Yes.
in our last meeting?
No, this was a new case, So there was violations that we sent it to the owner to correct. From the owner's side, I got confirmation that all the violations, I guess there were 6, 7 of the violations total that they've been corrected, So just going out to do a re-inspection to verify them.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it's a new case.
Okay.
It's not. It was not on, I guess, last time.
The Sementina Magica daycare, you said that she thinks she has some kind of exemption. Does she specify what she thinks her exemption is?
Right, so it might be like the understanding, and this is a kind of a gray area, right, with daycares from day one, So the state give them a permit to operate, right? But the food component is with the local Board of Health. So the state don't look into the food component, and it's written in the document, right, or the guidance that the state local health department regulate the food component, So, but it's kind of a gray area, right? I mean, a lot of daycares we have, sometimes they don't serve food, right? Or they bring in food from outside, or the kids bring in food. And then there we play a very minor role, right? I mean, we have no role if the kids are bringing their own food. We are supposed to regulate only if they're cooking on site. And we just want to make sure, that it's not like a full plan review for like we do for a food establishment, but then we have to grant them a permit, So that's the gray area. And might be a language barrier too, right? I have tried explaining to her, right? Like, hey, last time she was here last week, right? She mentioned that she have a certification from the state, right? That she can operate, or she can serve 10 kids food. And I asked her, please send me that communication that you have from the state, but she didn't, So it's my understanding of how I read the state regulations that when you prepare food on site, you need to be regulated by local Board of Health. And at this point, it's just more, we're working with them, but I want the board to be aware because this is the second one after, Kinder Cave we picked up, And I don't know, maybe it's a conversation we might want to have with EEC. That's the regulatory body, you know, for the daycare, right? That, hey, what's happening or what's moving forward, you know?
Yeah, it seems like if it's happened twice now, maybe there is some kind of miscommunication.
Right, or there might be more too, you know, so like, but these are two that come to our attention that are operating in Ashland or where they are preparing meals and serving it to the kids.
I can see how it would be a gray area, because if my kid is bringing their lunch, and let's say that needed to be heated up, or that's being stored in the refrigerator, and then that's coming out, like, how do you determine whether or not that's actually serving food?
So Dr. J, right, then it won't be us, right? I mean, then it's more very clearly written, like if they're preparing meals on site, then it's local board of health.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what the definition of preparing the meal on site is. If they, you know, you can imagine you're making hot chocolate for kids. Is that considered, you know, under the Board of Health?
To my understanding, yes. You know,
Yes.
any food you are handling at the daycare level, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not that heating the food, right? But if you're preparing something, right, for me, milk will be food, you know, and
Yeah.
then accordingly, but like, and this is, I don't know how this state do, right? I mean, they should, if they want us to regulate before giving them their permit to operate, right, they should check with us or make sure, right, that local body is you know, looking into it, or they have reach out to the local body, right? That's local board of health, right?
Right.
For that they have received proper permits, you know.
Right.
So
Got it.
Anybody else? All right, so the next thing on our agenda is the consent agenda. I need a motion to review and approve the fiscal year 2025 year-to-date budget reports and approve the meeting minutes from May 6th.
Do I need to repeat all that again? I can.
If you want, go ahead.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as stated.
Second.
Any questions on any of that? All in favor?
Aye.
Discuss future agenda items, appoint burial agents. Raj?
Chief, that will bring that on next time. Thanks.
And the next thing on the agenda is the reorganization of the board. Is that tonight or is that for our next meeting?
That's for actually tonight.
Tonight. Okay. Well, guess we can discuss that.
Well, can we table it
Absolutely.
for
yes.
one
Yes.
meeting?
Yeah,
Yeah, and then we can just have a discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
sure.
Because Barbara's not here either, so,
So we'll put it in the next meeting.
sounds good. Perfect. So our next meeting date is June 17th. Are we going to need that date or are we going to wait till
Chief,
July?
we can work on that, right? And then I'll be in contact with the board.
Okay.
In case we have to skip that, you know.
Okay. Yeah, if we usually don't have enough items, it's not worth having one.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'll be in communication with the board. You know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any new business? No? Look for a motion to adjourn then?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.